Welcome to Mr. Snacks, Soul Cafe. My name is Julia Caesar. And here is Mr. Snacks himself, Hiroshi.
Thank you, Julia. Let's get it on, all right? I'm going to start by saying that man believes he creates his thoughts. Man believes he thinks. And I'm here to share that man doesn't think, doesn't create his thoughts. This has to be understood. The thinking process happens to man and, of course, women. And you can't do anything about it. It just happens. It's like seeing just happens. Man does nothing to see. You get up in the morning, you open your eyes, and you just see. It's there for you. You hear sounds. Man doesn't do anything to hear or smell or taste or feel. It's all done, just like breathing just happens or digestion just happens to man. It's done for man. You see? And reactions happens to man. It's proof. You don't control your thinking process. It's an illusion that you do. If you controlled your thoughts, wouldn't you think nothing but beautiful, constructive, positive, happy thoughts 24/7? Why would you ever think, if you had control, negative thoughts, thoughts that would make you sad, depressed, confused, So, slavery has not ended when Lincoln freed the slaves. We are all slaves to our mind, slaves to our thinking, slaves to the thinking process. That's just the way it is. The illusory world of thoughts. Man is habituated to being a slave to thinking. You observe that thoughts arise. Thoughts arise, right? And then you find yourself either sad, uncontrollably, sometimes angry, depressed, confused, miserable, right? And at times you're happy, excited. Why? Maybe because the thought arose that someone is paying attention to you, so that makes you feel good. Or someone looks at you in a weird way, and then you feel a little confused, or is something wrong with me? You see? You're being a slave to your thoughts. And the result of that is your feelings, which can be up or down. Feeling happy, feeling sad. The thought of a new job, the thought of a raise, the thought of something going really, going your way. To a man, maybe a woman is paying attention to him, an attractive woman. So he feels good, positive. Or if he gets rejected, he feels terrible. So my whole point is, we're a slave to our thinking. How do you get out of that? I tell you, at times we're just overwhelmed with thoughts. They just come one after the other. And if we did have control, would that ever happen? It's a trap. The mind is a trap. Nothing wrong or right with the mind. It's just functioning perfectly. right? So with understanding, what's important to understand is that this thinking process does not control life, has nothing to do with life, because life in its intelligence, you can call it God, you can call it the source, the universe, manifests the whole thinking process. But at times you'll think that the thinking process controls and conducts life. It doesn't at all. Yeah, let's go further down the rabbit hole here. Man not only believes he can think, right, but that he can speak and that he does things. No, man is not the doer. I covered this many times. Man is not the thinker. Descartes was wrong. Man is not even the speaker, right? He does not understand that the thinking process has deceived him into believing that he can think, that he can do things, that he can speak, and that he can act. All these things, the thinking, the doing, the speaking, they all happen to man. And woman, of course. I'm not leaving them out. He does not bring them about at all. And to think that you think and speak and do, and you're doing all this is the slavery. So if you disagree, that's cool. But if it's possible that you are the thinker, you control the thinking, you control the speaking, and you control the doing, well, that's okay. Then be happy, because everyone wants to be happy. Then why aren't we happy? Why are we depressed at times, or sad, or disappointed, or we think we made a mistake? Why would we ever make a mistake, especially the huge ones, right? You've been in situations, I know I have, where a thought just comes out of nowhere and you go, what was that? Or you do something that just lock your keys in the car or something. What the hell was I thinking? Or you've said something to someone and caught yourself. My God, I shouldn't have said that to my friend or a wife or a girlfriend. Wow, it just came out. You see, if you did have control, you would never make those what you call so-called mistakes. I shouldn't have never said that. Well, why did you say it? Well, I don't know. It just happened. That's right. It just happened. And if you had control, could you just turn off the thinking process? And sometimes, you have a sleepless night. Thoughts just keep coming in and out, and you can't sleep, right? That's proof enough. You cannot switch on or switch off the thinking process. Thinking happens to man. Just like nature, seasons happen. Fall comes, winter comes, winter goes away, spring comes, spring goes away, the summer, so forth and so on. It's a cycle. And speaking is just like thinking aloud. Doing is also thinking. So thinking is involved in all these, right? Yeah, we are disturbed by our thoughts about life. Not life, but our thoughts. See, the mind interprets, the mind labels. We look out there and then we say that's a tree. But did the tree come and tell you it's a tree? So the mind labels, and other labels, such as good and bad, or right and wrong, beautiful and ugly, so forth and so on. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a function of the mind. But with understanding that the mind is logical and life is illogical. So the mind is simply reflecting what is in the mind, not in life. You get it? And the mind labels this process, this labeling process. You know, the mind labels objects and subjects, events, happenings, actions. A label is just a word and not an actuality, right? Just as the word water is not actually water, right? Fire. Can the word fire burn you? Can the word water quench your thirst? Is the menu the food? So a result of this understanding is the blaming drops, not only of others, but yourself. You don't get down on yourself for locking the keys in your car. It just happened, or for not remembering a certain thing, or for being late at work. These things are just happening to man. Man is not in control. He's simply aware that the body goes about its movements spontaneously, uncontrollable, and unpredictable. Life moves without the mind, but the illusion is that the mind is moving life. You may think about going to the store, planning on it, but whether you go to the store is not up to the mind or you, right? You'll realize that. So, the blaming drops? What else? Well, you're not going to get upset at someone else for saying something or doing something or even thinking something. They can't help it. I'll tell you, it's a tough one. It really is. And that's why understanding is the key. And it's not going to all just drop away right away. This may take time. Maybe days, maybe weeks, months, years. But with this understanding, you will see that it doesn't stay long. There's anger, it arises, it just dissipates. The same thing with frustration or being upset or whatever. And about the current pandemic, I call it. The lockdowns and the loss of jobs for millions of people. And the lies told by the government, leaders, people getting sick, people dying. I mean, life is as it is. It's a mystery. That means it can't be figured out by the mind. The sages have shared that the world is an illusion, Maya. That means it is not real. It's like a dream. Notice that the world and you and the pandemic disappear in deep sleep. Ponder that. See ya.